Skip's probably not going to make it.
Judge, he said he is.
Oh, he is.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Judge, Skip said he is gonna call it.
He is?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What we got?
Is he teleconference in now? Mr. Hack, you on the phone? Okay, let's get started. Okay, it is 9 a.m., Monday, September 28th, 2020. Wilson County Commissioners Court is now in session. We'll have an opening prayer by Ben Jimenez, Deacon of St. Mary's Catholic Church in Stockton.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, you are the real foundation of nations, raising them up to serve and care for the people dwelling in their boundaries. I thank you for making me a citizen of this land, of freedom and unlimited opportunities, which are the results of its Christian faith. Send forth your Spirit to this country and make it a source of wisdom and strength, order and integrity throughout the world. Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe, look with mercy on those who rule over us. Grant to our President and his administration the grace to know and do your will. Let them serve all their subjects in truth and righteousness. Inspire our countrymen with the courage to make law for the good of all, rather than for few. Give our judges your spirit of wisdom and understanding, that they may discern the truth and impartiality administer the law, and that all the people pitch in to make our way of government continue to work. And we ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Approved, Judge. Okay. Thank you, sir. We have Commissioner Hyatt teleconference in. We have a full, no. Okay, agenda item number 3 is public comments.
I have none at this time, Judge.
Okay. Agenda item number 4, certificates of completion and awards.
I have none at this time, Judge.
Okay, moving right along. We are going to go to agenda item number 14. If y'all don't mind. We've got a group back there that would have to wait through the whole thing. So, agenda item number 14, Wichita Jackson County Judge Courtney White, 4-H and Youth Development Agent, discuss and take action on accepting one-day 4-H proclamation. Courtney?
So I am Courtney White. I'm the 4-H agent here in the county. I have a group of kiddos here with me today to help me represent 4-H here in Wilson County. We are presenting the proclamation for One Day 4-H in addition to the actual week of National 4-H Week. So National 4-H Week starts next week. It's the 4th through the 10th. And it's just a whole week of celebrating 4-H and the amazing kids that we have. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you just a little bit about themselves, and then Hayden is going to go ahead and read our proclamation.
My name is Michael Campos, and I'm the second vice president for the 4-H County Council.
My name is Hayden Hayowski, and I am the president of the Clinton County Council.
Hello, my name is Luke Scribner, and I'm the secretary for the county council.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Logan Baker, and I'm the first vice president for our county council.
I'm Joshua Scrivener.
The National 4-H Week Proclamation. Whereas the Wilson County Commissioners Court is proud to honor the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M Agri-Led Extension Service for 113 years, providing experience-based education to youngsters of the Lone Star State. And whereas this admirable program, which seeks to provide a learning experience for the whole child, including head, heart, hands, and health, helps young Texans to acquire knowledge, develop life skills, and form attitudes to enable them to become self-directed, productive, and contributing members of our society. And whereas it's more than 550,000 urban, suburban, and rural youth participants, ranging in age from 8 to 19, hail from diverse ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds, and truly represent a cross-section of the state. And whereas the program undoubtedly could not have achieved the success that it has today, were it not for the service of more than 22,000 volunteers who have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources to the youth of Texas. And whereas, throughout its proud history, the 4-H program has developed positive role models for countless Texans, and through its innovative and inspiring programs, continues to build character and to instill the values that have made our state strong and great. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Wilson County Commissioners Court hereby designated October 4th to the 10th, 2020 as National 4-H Week in Texas, and commend the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M Agri-Led Extension Service and the many men and women who have made the program a success. Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Hyatt to accept the one-day 4-H proclamation. The second by Commissioner Powell. Thank you all from the picture. Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. This carries. On how? Yeah.
Sandy Heiner?
Don't want to get closer down this way? Or? Can y'all get all of us? Skip, can you hear us? Okay. They could tell you, I believe.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Handshakes are allowed.
Appreciate it.
It's a great program here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Courtney, I guess keep the proclamation and Commissioner Hyde can go by one day when he gets a chance and sign it.
Okay.
Did you hear that, Skip?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, one day when you get a chance, go by AgriLive and sign the proclamation.
Will do.
Okay. So, we've got agenda item 14. Now we're going to go back to agenda item 5. Richard L. Jackson County Judge to discuss and take action on pony maintenance contract for Wilson County Courthouse elevator. Is this something that we needed to bid out or should have bid out, or is this just something?
Bless you.
Bless you. What number, Chuck?
Oh, the phono.
Number 5, agenda item 5, pony contract for the elevator. maintenance.
How much
We've had it.
is it?
What's that?
I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
I've got it here. Okay. Pricing and effective date, effective October 1st, 2020, $165.60 per month. And
No, that's
Connie?
just a renewal, I believe, right? That's just a
Yes.
renewal.
it's a renewal from, we've had them for the last, I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
Okay, Connie, will-
That's several years.
yes. And it's, under the price that it would take to go out for, to bid it out, so.
I make a motion that we accept.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Wiley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez. Is there any discussion on the contract for the elevator service? I'll call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have the contract passed. Okay, moving right along to agenda item number 6, Richard Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on holidays and paydays for 2021. And I passed them out, I know you don't have it, Skip, but it's the same, pretty much the same 14 holidays, just changing the date on them that we've had.
Yeah, okay.
And the paydays are, all employees will continue to be paid every other Friday.
Okay, very good.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Fowle, that we accept the slate of holidays and the paydays for 2021. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, we're going to agenda item number 7, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on the memorandum of agreement, the state of Texas, Texas Parks and Wildlife, TPWD, and Wilson County for use of the radio tower land lease in Floresville with Rudy E. Schiffelbein IV, owner. Okay, this is a contract we've had for years.
I'll make a motion to
A motion by Commissioner Fowle,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez, that we continue the agreement that we have. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay.
Motion on the floor. You have a second. Make a motion.
Okay, and agenda item number 8, Richard O. Jackson County Judge, discuss and approve times and dates of regular Commissioners Court meeting. That's another, the only thing different is on Monday, October 25th, we'll move to Tuesday, October 26th, because that's the day that I've gone every year. We've always changed it in this year. And then Monday, December 27th, we'll move to Tuesday, December 28th for the Christmas holiday.
And the October one was moving from 25th to 26th?
October the 25th was moved to October 26th.
Okay.
And December 27th moved to December 28th. Other than that, the Commissioners' Court meetings will be held the second and fourth Monday of every month at 9 a.m.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hyatt, second by Commissioner File. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now we're going to agenda item number 9, Wichita Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation. I'm going to read the proclamation. Proclamation Domestic Violence and Awareness and Prevention Month 2020, whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. Whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, societal barriers and are supported by social indifferences, and whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, direct, affecting individuals and society as a whole, here in this community and throughout the United States and the world. And whereas women are not only targets, young children and elderly also are victims. And sadly, emotional scars are often permanent, and domestic violence costs the United States companies at least $3.5 billion in lost work time, increased healthcare costs, higher turnover, and lower productivity. And where it is battered women themselves who have been in the forefront of the efforts to bring peace and equality to the home. Now, therefore, we do hereby proclaim the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month, and call all citizens, community agencies, religious organizations, medical facilities, and business to increase their participation in our efforts to prevent domestic violence, thereby strengthening the communities in which we live. Has anybody got anything they want to add to this?
I do. My name is Carla. I am with Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelter. I just wanted to let you guys know that we have some events coming up. We have our candlelight visual. Sorry, it's hard to talk with mask. Our candlelight visual, and we usually have it at the DMV, but this year we're not going to have it there. We're going to have it like an online. We're going to make like a video. So we ask that everybody send their pictures in to my email. I gave you guys my card. You can send those in by October 20th. The video is going to be online on our social media. October 29th. We ask that you wear a purple shirt, or you can go by our office here in Floresville and pick up a purple ribbon. But it's just like basically a selfie of you guys. And it has to be like each and every single one of you, but like by yourself, not like a group. I mean, it could be a group. And then we are also, oh, that's it. That's what we're having. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez, to accept the proclamation. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? You like a picture or anything?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You've seen us already. You're lucky we're wearing masks.
There you go. Okay, moving right along to agenda item number 10. Wichita Jackson County Judge discuss and take action on allowing CAS, Children's Alliance of South Texas, to use the parking lot across from the street from 1108 Railroad Street for trick or treat on October 31st, 2020 from 3 to 5. This is just asking permission to use the parking lot to have their own little
Make a motion.
motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Fowler, that we allow them to do this. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries.
Good. You might.
I think you had a comment on that,
Okay.
Judge.
The thing about it is, Mr. Burris will let you say something, but this was not on the agenda. We can't really act upon it, but we can next Commissioners Court meeting.
I appreciate that, sir.
So if, we're gonna go back to public comments, which, and Mark Burris, Floresville Chamber of Commerce, would like to.
Well, first off, thank you all for letting me speak. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together an event for Halloween. It's going to be like a parade, but kind of in reverse, because instead of having, we know that we can't have crowds and everything, so instead of having a crowd with the parade going by, we're going to have the crowd and the parade going through town to see all the businesses and everything. We're going to have 3 different contests running. One contest is going to be a costume contest, which is going to be online, so we're going to accept entries to the Chamber of Commerce's website, and there will be judging on that. And then there's going to be 2 contests during the event. One will be for the cars. We're asking the people to decorate their vehicles. There will be judges there that will judge and decide which car is best decorated. And then the people in the cars are going to be viewing all the businesses, and they're going to be telling us at the end which business they think was best decorated. We're going to have prizes and all for that also. So what we're requesting is we would like to use a portion of the parking area around the courthouse to set up booths for those businesses that don't have a footprint or don't have a presence downtown, so that they can set up like a pop-up canopy or something, and put some type of advertisement and all for their business, do a decoration, whatever they would like to do for the holiday. And other than that, the only other thing that we're asking is that we can hand out candy at the end. The candy is going to be prepared in packages. We're going to have people in gloves and masks and everything else, following all the precautions that we can. So we would just like the court's approval.
Okay, I do not see anything, any reason why it won't be, but we'll just have to, since it was not on this agenda for this today.
The 4th Monday then, sir?
No, work. The second Monday. No, first, what's today? This is the last, it'll be the 12th. What is is that the 12th?
October 12th.
It'll be on the 12th.
Okay.
We'll put it on the 12th, and I do not see any reason that it will not be allowed. So, yeah, y'all can go ahead and, I'll take the liberty and say, go ahead and make your plans.
I appreciate that, sir.
And we'll put it on just as a formality and pass it next time.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think you want to
Okay. Moving right along to agenda item number 12, Albert Gomez Jr. Oh, no, 11, excuse me. Richard O. Jackson County Judge requesting approved contract with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid for our regional, and what that should be is public defender program. The regional defender program is for our capital. Do you have a copy of that? Did you want to?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. This is something we need to act on today. As far as getting in this program, they're through Atascosa County. We have applied for a grant. We have been granted. It has been granted, so something we need to move forward on.
What's the grant do?
Can I see the contract that you have?
Yes. And I can explain that,
Okay.
that, at this time, if this county has a capital,
Okay, this is the contract.
that's the contract with,
This is the contract with Atascosa County for this
for the
Texas Rio
program,
Grande.
yes, but it doesn't, Does it say Rio Grande?
No. Our contract is with Atascosa County, they're the main county, it's 4 counties that are involved. They're the lead county.
Okay, then sign both of those.
Okay.
What this does is, right now, if we have a capital case that we are
Yeah,
prosecuting.
this is not capital. This is our public defender. This is for county courts and district courts. They're gonna have a public defender instead of all the attorneys that come in like they do.
So
They're gonna
individual
have their
attorneys
own-
won't be appointed to a defendant. This will be a group of lawyers, any one of whom will be assigned to come and represent them, and it should be significantly cheaper for us, significantly.
It
And
is.
Atascosa is,
The first year, I know Michelle has had, that the first year is gonna save us a lot of money, and the second year, it's gonna eventually level out, and we're gonna be even, because you don't know what the future brings, but it's gonna come in less than what we're paying now for all the attorneys. We're gonna pay a certain price, like right now, when the attorneys, and they will submit a bill, and you don't know what that bill's gonna be from each, if they have to go to court, or they have to, have an investigator have something happen. They'll add that to their bill. That will not happen with this. If we're paying Rio Grande Legal Aid, and they furnish all of that. They'll have their own investigators, their own attorneys, everything.
So the idea behind the grant is that there's going to be a regional public defender program set up, a regional public defender office set up, somewhere between here and Atascosa County. Atascosa is the lead. We are sub-grantee from Atascosa. And then the benefits are so that our indigent population will be represented equally, and, they will have representation. They won't have to be calling all the time and fighting the battle of getting assigned an attorney. There are obviously cost benefits to the county, but as I said, Atascosa is the lead. We are a sub-grantee of that grant with Texas Rio Grande.
do you know who the lead person is in Atascosa?
Is it?
I'm not sure if it's coming out of, Judge Hurley is the one that's.
It's coming out of Judge Hurley's office, okay. I was just saying, who was the lead person in Atascosa?
Judge Hurley.
So it's coming out of his office, okay. That's who I sent this back to after we made our changes.
Is this a fixed number, Judge, so to speak, and we have
Yes.
a portion of it, so you know going into the year what your expenses are gonna be? Is that what
Or
you're saying?
if there's a cost share on it?
Well, no, I think it's gonna be cheaper because it's a volume. It's 5 counties worth of.
4.
Okay, what
LaSalle
happened
did
with
not get
it?
in.
LaSalle didn't
Charles
go
is
in?
not part of it.
And the agreement with Rio Grande Legal Aid will be something like, any lawyer that comes into this, we're gonna pay them $100 an hour, which will significantly help because, for instance, some of the San Antonio lawyers that we've had to use before might charge $250 or $300. So we're gonna be assured that there's gonna be a kind of a dollar amount that we're gonna share. I haven't seen a scale, if they've made one, how much each county will pay. I imagine it's gonna have something to do with how many cases we have. And, if we have 5 cases in a year, then we would have to pay more than Atascosa if they only had 1 case
Okay,
a year.
this is, Wilson County agrees to expend funds necessary for indigent defense to pay Atascosa a prorated share of the public defender, specifically 25.97%, which to me, that is a great number. It's got Atascosa quite a bit more than that in Karnes County and Frio County. So, because our caseload is very, very similar to Atascosa County's, and they're gonna be footing according to how they've done it. And this is David Hall at Rio Grande Legal Aid that came up with this formula. And he figured it out. He got our information, he got Atascosa's information, he got Karnes's, he got Frio's, and he got LaSalle's. LaSalle chose not to go with it. But he gave everybody a printout, I guess you could say, of this is how many cases that y'all have, and this is what the percentage, and this is what it would cost to be. The final number has not gone down other than what he gave us before. But this is an agreement that we have to make with Atascosa County to go forward to get them. And most of it, a lot of it, this first year is going to be paid for by a grant.
And just a question from the other end, I'm assuming that the representation would be from a quality standpoint for these folks,
Yes.
consistent with what we currently have?
And they said they're going to have to implement or start a whole other public defender office. So they're going to have to hire attorneys. And they're gonna be
that would
hiring
be the issue.
some of the attorneys that we
we'll
use.
have to look at is the quality, because, many of their lawyers are brand new lawyers. So I imagine they'll pull together a group of the experienced lawyers who will be dealing with this. But remember, defendant can always hire their own lawyer. This will just be cases where they cannot afford to hire a lawyer, and then we assign them one. And then this configuration will keep the cost at a minimum.
Indigent defense is one of the most expensive mandates that Wilson County has from the state. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on indigent defense. And this is going to be a relief this next year.
I don't remember the numbers, but in my office I have from a meeting that I went to a few years ago, what Wilson County was paying, listed all the counties, but what Wilson County was paying in 2000 versus, I think this took it up through like 2010, and it was amazing what the change was. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's out of control.
Yes, and this is going to give us some relief on that.
How long is that grant good for? How many years?
It is, first of all, you have studied it more than I have.
This is a part of the sustainability grant. This first grant, I believe, is for 2 years, and then you have the option of reapplying for another sustainability grant. So that's essentially the initial time period.
And here's the deal. Say, we've got the grant. We've been awarded the grant. We're going to get the grant for this year and next year. And if something goes wrong, say we decided we don't like it, we can go back to what we're doing now, which is costing us a lot of money. This is a chance for some relief.
So there have been a few concerns brought to the attention of all of the judge and myself and even the auditor. What about our attorneys? And then is it truly going to be quality service, and are our indigent population going to be served?
Hey, let me put something in there too. The efficiency of the court. We have a whole array of attorneys that come in. Some of them come in and do their job and accomplish their goal. They come in, they meet with their client, and they resolve something. Some of them come in and they get appointed an attorney, and okay, we'll reset it and go on. And the next time they come in, okay, we reset and go on. these people won't have any choice. They're gonna have to meet with them because there's nobody else to. And like I said, attorneys are like anybody else. There's real good ones and there's some fair ones and then there's some that aren't so good. And this will eliminate some of that. It will help the efficiency of the court. And if it doesn't help the efficiency of the court, I'm gonna be ready to go back to the way it was, which I can't help but think it's gonna be good because we have some attorneys too that are, at the end of the day, they've got their account sheet out there and they're saying, okay, what am I gonna charge the county? And who pays this? Indigent defense. This does not come from Austin. This is not. We get a whole $30,000 grant now. It's all to take care of hundreds of thousands of dollars of indigent defense. Indigent defense comes out of our taxpayers' pockets. It's one of those deals. You can be the victim, and you can also be paying the perpetrator that robs your house, robs your store, burglarized your house, or whatever. You're going to be paying his defense also.
So some of those concerns were brought to the Texas Rio Grande Agency as well as some of the other counties that were involved in this. And the Texas Rio Grande said that any concerns that have come up in the quality of service or any kind of service that has come up, they've addressed it with Texas Rio Grande, and Rio Grande has resolved issues. So I've also done some literature review on nearby counties who have gone to this type of program. While there is probably one or two that have their concerns about it, there are several that have rave reviews about the program. So, it's kind of how you set up the communication and the coordination locally. So I think, there's probably a good chance that the county attorney's office should definitely be involved as like a local project manager type thing.
But when
Monitor.
you know how you pretty quickly pick up on the lawyers who aren't doing
Oh, yeah.
a good job. And if that comes up, then a complaint can be filed and they'll send us another lawyer.
Yes. If we are not.
Do you know the capital cases or not?
No, these are not for capital cases. The
These are
capital
any-
case is still going to go through Lubbock County.
This is any criminal case.
This is
It's not capital.
county court, class A and B misdemeanors, and district court, the felonies.
And it is not CPS. CPS is not represented in these cases.
And I know two counties right now that are with Texas Rule, and that's Live Oak and Beeville, B County.
Yeah, B is one of the ones that love it.
Yes. Any more questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the interlocal agreement.
I'll motion.
Well, motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Hyde. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So this motion, we have a,
If you'll sign both of them,
okay.
I'll make a copy for the county clerk and then I'll send those to that, Atascosa for their signature.
Okay. Now we're going to agenda item 12. Albert Gomez, Commissioner Precinct 1, requests permission to use portion of the courthouse lawn to post some National Night Out signs.
So, good morning, Judge,
Morning.
Sheriff, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Gomez, for sponsoring our request. Most of you were able to attend last year's National Night Out, and we were able to host it at the event center, and it was a fabulous event, which we showed our appreciation for our PD first responders in the city and community, as well as the county. We want to be able to do something this year as well. You may have read in the Wilson County News. Fred Ricks had an article in there about our brainstorming. There's also the invitation to the community in a newspaper, which ran last week, and it will run again this week. Because of the pandemic, we had to think outside the box. We could not host a large gathering, so this year we thought of hosting a drive-by parade. We asked that the police department and first responders line up around the courthouse square, along C, taking a left, along the front here around Arcadia behind me, and then back around D on the evening of October 6th. I think it's very important that the community show their appreciation to their first responders and police departments, because they are always there to protect us, and they need to know that we sincerely appreciate that. So by hosting a drive-by parade, we're merely asking that the community come out and show their appreciation by lining up. It's a drive-by parade, family vehicle, street legal vehicle, and they will be parading up C, and this is the evening of October 6th. And we would like to put some 4x6 National Night Out signs along the courthouse grounds, and also I brought along some yard signs that I had made up, which each of you can have today, and I will also distribute to the community as they sign up to participate. But my request is to post some advertisement for National Night Out and hopefully get a good turnout from the community. It's the evening of October 6th. We will parade through at 7 p.m. And we ask the sheriff and Commissioner File and Gomez if they are available that evening to help us judge for the most creatively decorated vehicles, because we have also acquired 3 Ring doorbells, which we will be awarding to the creatively decorated vehicles that evening. So the city did sign a proclamation on Thursday, September 24th, supporting the National Night Out. And I do want to stress that a lot of communities around us have canceled their events. Texas has been number 1 for hosting these events nationwide. Other states, aside from Texas, have celebrated in August. This year, because of the pandemic, everyone's going to celebrate on October 6th nationwide. So it's our opportunity to come out in droves and show our support. We will have drone coverage, we will have photos, and I will submit to the National Association Town Watch to show how Wilson County came out to support the first responders.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez. Second by Commissioner Fowle, that we allow National Night Out signs on the courthouse lawn and whatever else that we need to do to cooperate with
Thank you.
the event. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Agenda item 13, Richard Jackson County Judge discuss and take action on allowing Wilson County Livestock Show Committee to build an area to store their pens. You want to talk about this, or you don't need to?
Judge, I mean, all I know is that they're gonna, it's not gonna be attached to the barn itself or building itself, it's gonna be up next to it, and just some place to store their hogs and goat and sheep, pound pens, get them outside of the barn. It's gonna be a locked-in area, and just have a panel around the outside, welded panel, with covered roof. Just some place to store their, basically their equipment and portable panels.
Who's building it?
The livestock show's gonna pay for everything, they're doing all of it. They just want.
Where are they gonna put it?
They're looking right now on the east side, where they, I don't know if you know where they got the old hog panels stacked up right now by the outside.
Right.
Either there or on the northeast corner, which will be out of the way, around the back side of it, either location. It won't cost the county any money, all they're doing is asking for permission to be able to build it on the ground. And it won't be attached to the building. So if something down the road ever, you need to do something, it'd be taken down or whatever, affect the structure of the building itself.
Is that something that the county has to ensure on our policy because it's on our property?
I wouldn't think so, it's not, they
Well,
don't belong.
I would say I wouldn't insure what they built, but I would leave our insurance on it for personal injury. So if someone was injured there, we would be sued as well as them.
I don't have a problem with it. I think that we ought to, they ought to propose, but we ought to dictate the location. I mean,
And someone.
it sounds like on the northeast end probably makes the most sense, but, it makes, panels can be stolen pretty easily, and so it makes sense to have them there and to have them in a locked enclosure. I just think that the county should dictate which location. And as far as I'm concerned, you, from my perspective, you could be the representative.
And kind
Which
of
location will take us
observe
right
while they're building it to make sure it's
Right.
what you think it should be.
Okay, right now, the panels are inside, and they're kind of more or less in the way when we do the food bank distribution. This is just be more area, getting them out of the way.
Well, I think it makes sense. I just think we should dictate where we go.
I'll make a motion to.
Motion by Commissioner Pond,
I'll say.
second by
I
Commissioner White.
also, I'd like to have a little more discussion, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I think whatever they build should be donated to the county as county property.
It will be attached, so it's gonna have to be donated to the county. It's gonna be attached. Once you attach something, you can't remove it.
Right.
I thought at
Okay.
the beginning you said not attached.
Is that not attached?
It's not gonna be attached to the building.
Or to the building, but it's gonna be attached to the ground.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, yeah.
It's gonna be attached to the ground. They're gonna have to have posts and,
But not to the building itself.
but not to the building itself.
I would think that thinking is one thing and I guess happening is something else, but I would think that their thought would be that they would be building it and it would be there.
Oh, I think they're in it for the long term.
Yeah.
But we could make that clear, I guess, instead of defense.
Yeah, I guess we can.
I don't know, as long as we don't have to pay the insurance for the things.
Well, I think for our safety, we've got to pay for
Oh, I
personal
agree.
insurance,
Personally, yes.
but not for insurance on the tenant.
Right.
They can pay for that.
Unless it becomes donated to the county as county
Well, that would
property.
be just the building, not what they put in it.
Oh,
What
just
they
the
put in it's
structure
theirs.
itself.
So right now, that stuff is, we haven't, they have stored inside and not being insured by us
Mhm.
now.
We probably need a little contract of some kind, which I can work on with Paul. It just sets that out.
Okay. Just make it clear to them that they realize that when they build it, it's county property.
We do.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. So, moving right along to agenda item number 15, we've already done 14. Richard L. Jackson, State Judge, Michelle Moore, Grants Manager. 15A, discuss and ratify the submission of the Center for Tech and Civic Life, a nonprofit organization grant program for the Elections Department. Well, this is going to be, we're submitting it, and she's also got more news.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. This grant came about, I guess Olga received something in her email and forwarded it on to me. I reviewed it. So it is a grant with this nonprofit organization, Center for Tech and Civic Life. It is nonprofit, so their rules and parameters are a little bit different than federal government, state government. We needed to fill out a quick web page on our stats, our registered voters, and what we needed the money for. And it indicated there that the sooner we fill it out, the faster we could be awarded, and that is a true statement. So I mentioned it to the judge, and so I'm requesting your approval on to ratify the submission of this grant. We were notified Saturday that we were approved for a grant for $33,815. We don't necessarily need to use it all, and that's obviously where Olga comes in to determine how much of that she needs, if she needs all of it. The county will have until December 31st to spend it. And then, of course, anything that is not used should be returned to the nonprofit. It is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to educate the public and ensure their voting and their elections are transparent, inclusive, and
So is this like advertising, or I'm confused?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
the purpose of the grant is to allow for local governments to, purchase election type equipment, whether it's PPE or in this case the COVID. They received a grant, the nonprofit received a grant, COVID related, $250 million, and they're awarding it to local governments who apply.
Did you by any chance check out their nonprofit status on the Secretary of State's office? If you did, just do that for
Yeah,
the
I
record,
sure
so
will.
we can see.
To verify.
We just want to make sure it's not political in any way.
Right. So, we did receive an agreement on Saturday as well. I forwarded it to the county attorney's office since we received it after the due date for submissions for this court agenda. It'll be on next agenda. Should be approved if everything pans out as far as but they gave, such items that it could be used for poll workers, nonpartisan voter education, personal protective equipment, poll worker recruitment funds, training expenses, polling place rental and cleaning expenses for voting and election day, temporary staff, voting materials in languages other than English, vote by mail, absentee voting equipment or supplies, and election administration equipment. So those are some of the things that it can be used for.
I'll make a motion, we go forward.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Powell, that we go forward with this. Is there any more discussion?
How much was it?
$33,815. $33,815. Now that, obviously, we don't have to accept that much.
Right, thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passed. It's passed, and we've already got it. We've already been approved for it. That's pretty amazing. 15B, discuss and take action to approve the Texas Volkswagen Environmental Mitigation Program, TEX-VEMP, grant administered by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for all Wilson County precincts.
As you all know, we've been working on this for the past couple months, but it's really kind of started driving home lately. There is a deadline. This grant came about a lawsuit between the United States and the state of California and Volkswagen, basically to reduce the nitrogen oxide emissions from refuse vehicles, trash vehicles, garbage vehicles, such as that. So the state was awarded a lump sum of that. There is a deadline to apply of October 8th. And so I've talked with you all individually about the various vehicles that you all are eligible to receive this grant to replace those vehicles to reduce those nitrogen oxide emissions. What you have before you are the eligible vehicles in your precinct. And it is an 80-20 cost share for the next 2 years to replace those vehicles. I developed a spreadsheet that coincides with the actual application for the information that TCEQ will need, and highlighted the items that are yellow that if you all can help me with, or if you have a salesman that you want to deal with in replacing these vehicles, that we can get that information for. The items that are in green is internal, that I can work through the county clerk's office and the county tax office. This is just a request to submit this grant and move forward. And I have signature pages for you. We did have the option to just submit one application. But I felt to better track it and monitor it between the grants department and the auditor's office and whatnot as far as financial and budgetary data you guys can submit for different applications.
Commissioner Fowle told me he thought it was a good idea, that he wasn't sure how much gravel he could haul in a Volkswagen.
I thought we had to get the health commissioner's court in it.
In the Volkswagen?
Yeah, we could do that.
Now, what about the heavy equipment? Any help with heavy?
That is a different grant program, it's called the TERPS, and that deadline has already passed. I think there's still some other grants available, so I'll check into that.
This is a good program.
So just to give you an idea of the money that we're talking about, like, most of y'all's vehicles that are eligible are within that, 1995 to 2006 range. So the eligible award for that and replacing that between, for a vehicle between the years of 2004 to 2007 is anywhere from 72,000 to a little over 74,000. So, that's probably doable.
And that's up to, so just to confirm, we've talked about it, so if you get a $72,000 allowance, so to speak, and you've got a $100,000 or $110,000 dump truck, you get the $72,000 and you get the dump truck for $40,000.
That's our match.
Which is a significant difference in the last dump truck that I had to buy.
And then obviously some of the older vehicles that you all have eligible, those that are 2003 and later, they actually could potentially be completely replaced. We still have to do a cost share, but the amount on that is $126,294 per vehicle.
Say that again,
$126,294.
if they're older than 2003.
Yep, 2003 and older, which I think a couple of you all have.
But it does, but as we discussed, I have a couple of things that fit that, but we're talking dump trucks only.
Right.
Talking water trucks or emulsion truck or any of that
So water trucks are eligible in this one or
No,
not?
they're not.
Just the dump trucks.
So it's, what's eligible is dump trucks, garbage and recycling, grapple trucks, roll-off trucks, sweeper trucks, and chipper trucks. And I think there was a chipper.
Oh, you have a chipper truck.
Y'all might wanna,
That's owned by all four precincts.
yeah, just,
Although I think it still runs pretty well. I don't know.
I ain't used it in a couple of years, I don't know where it's
I
at.
haven't used it in all year. It's the chipper that we are talking to. Actually, do we need a motion on that?
motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we go forward with this.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Fowle, second by Commissioner Wiley, we go forward with Tex Vemp grant administered by TCEQ.
The important point to all of this is that if you're gonna have one, you better have everything to this young lady by probably the 6th at the very latest, because you have to turn it in on the 8th.
Right, I'll probably have to drive it up there, because they did, say that even if you mailed it and it doesn't get to the office within TCAQ, it wouldn't be considered. So,
Now, is this what you emailed us about, we have to get a
yes, Yes, you do need a mechanic to sign off on that, and it says right there on that first page what the mechanic needs to verify, basically, that it runs and it operates and it's not up on blocks or anything like that. And they need to verify
Well,
that
that's
for all
gonna
the
rule
vehicles.
you all out.
And of course, he needs to,
You can take it off the block.
he needs to sign
Take it
this.
off the block.
There's also some, one thing I did not mention is there are some pictures that, are required. And I know you've helped me with that for your vehicles, Commissioner File, but there's actually some more pictures that they need. Yeah, so, I had talked with Commissioner Hike about his as well as Commissioner Wiley. They have a salesman gonna come schedule some time out
For Wednesday of this week.
to do some of these pictures and get some of the rest of the information that I do need. So
If he's gonna get the sale, he ought to come out.
that's what I'm saying.
Can he do all of them?
I don't know. He told me he normally didn't go south of Stockville.
How about west?
I'll talk to him and see. I mean, if you're gonna go through him, I'm sure. Yeah, I bought my last dump trucks from him.
That's fine with me.
So, I contacted him last Thursday and had him get in contact with this young lady, so that he could understand what it was he was looking for a little better. I will contact him later today, and how many trucks do you have? Three? You got one? You interested? It's Peterbilt. Is that? All right, I'll get a hold of him.
That's where we bought all of them.
I think if you guys buy four, I get one free. Yeah, I'll contact you.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so I will get this signed and get it back to you. Right now, we're moving right along to agenda item number 16. Albert Gomez Jr., Commissioner Precinct 1, discuss and take action on investment policy and investment strategy. I think Jan Hartle's name should have been on here too, County Treasurer. Go ahead, Jan.
It's just the same investment policy that we renew every year. We have to have it approved in Commissioners Court.
How much interest are we getting in these? Going down, down, down?
Down, down, down. No, when I had a conference last week and it said they had very poor outlooks for the interest rate for a while. I'm sorry to tell y'all that.
Need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Fowle. Paul, got it, Skip. Did we accept the investment policies and procedures and strategies? Okay, is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So we have set this in place again for another year. Skip, there's a paper you need to come by and sign. On this investment stuff.
Your office or?
No, I don't, Eva's office,
Eva's office.
yes. Okay. Moving right along, this is Leanne's time. Agenda item number 17, Leanne Hochek, EMC 17A. Utility permit number 618, Three Oaks Water Supply Corporation, Precinct 2, County Road 134, review and approve.
in the way.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fowle,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Wiley, we approve, the permit number 618. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, now we're moving right along to 17B, subdivision, the Timbers, review and approve final plat, discuss and take action.
And this one's off of, Second 775, it's got Foster Creek that runs through it.
It's kind of diagonally across from Rosewood.
And it's gonna be a gated subdivision, so the roads are gonna be private. And in lieu of posting a financial guarantee, you'll notice a 1-foot non-access easement around the roads. So they will not be able to sell any lots until the roads have been built, constructed, inspected, and approved. And their letter of map revision submitted to FEMA.
So it's a private gated community, and they're gonna have an easement around the roads of the foot?
Yes.
We still have to approve them?
We have to approve
Yes, we
that
have
the
to make
roads
sure
are
they're
built
built
to
to our
the
specs.
standard.
Okay.
Yes, and then if they meet all those requirements, then we release that easement. And it's gone before the committee and was given a favorable recommendation. They've met all the requirements.
Leanna, did anybody ever look at, I see this is gonna be on Ticaster Creek again, with the impact it's gonna have downstream. You know, we keep putting all these subdivisions on this one particular creek, you know, and yeah, I know he did this, but he didn't look at downstream all the way to Bentwood or Shannon.
Well, according to our regulations, there cannot be any impact. And that's why a lot of these subdivisions are having to do detention or retention, because they cannot have any impact. And you can probably explain it.
I'm
better
Brad
as
with
an engineer.
Rapids Engineers. So yeah, we did, per the county's ordinance, you cannot have an impact downstream. So we had an engineer do a flood study through the property. And with the road crossing we're adding, we have to put box culverts to convey the 100-year storm underneath the road. And with that culvert, it builds a headwater behind it, and that headwater basically attenuates the flow. It's got some storage naturally back behind that culvert when it builds up. So they ran a report that shows there's no increase from the runoff from our property. And the county's engineers reviewed that and approved it as well. So we had a Respect engineering do a drainage analysis. They're the experts on this type of flood study stuff, so we self-consulted with them, and they ran all that to show we had no increase from the site. So
It's kind of hard to get water going through that sand anyway, isn't it?
it is.
I mean, cause I know y'all got some pretty good sized culverts going in.
Right.
You know, and there's lots of water.
It is, yeah, there's a lot of floods in Ticaster there, so
I
that's.
know that ever since they built the city industrial park out here on 537, it's created more drainage
Absolutely. Yeah, and
downstream.
that's the main thing we look at in the county's ordinance is stormwater runoff. That's the first thing we do when we take a look at these sites and how do we not increase that runoff from the property. So we've got those culverts there, and we also have the textile culverts there on 775 that we can't send an increase to. So, but this one worked out pretty well where with that, with those culverts we're putting in for Ticaster, it builds up stormwater back behind and that provides storage there to basically slow the runoff so it's not released once we go over roads and impervious coverage.
Just a question I have, because I know there's a lot of subdivisions being channeled into the Ticaster. Lots of coming north end,
Driveways.
Driveways, rooftops. But your ordinance is written where it basically says you can't send an increase, so that's, from the county standpoint, that's a good thing to have in there.
And there's some floods that will happen, no matter what you've got, it's gonna flood. Because I've had, a couple of years ago, we had that big rain, and I had fences out in the middle, there wasn't a house within a mile, have a fence on the side of a hill wash out. So there's just sometimes that you can't help it. Let's see, who's,
I'll make a motion.
motion by Commissioner Wiley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez. We approve that. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
No, it's 6 pages to the left, just sign on the top page.
Got it? Skip, this is, nobody has to come by and sign. Leanne will have it.
Yes, come to mine.
You have to go to Leanne's office.
Okay.
Keep on, wanting to move into precinct 4.
Just one. Yeah. There's a lot of pages.
Yeah, all the drainage.
You've done horseshoes.
Go wash it. Okay, moving right along to 17C, subdivision Hidden Ranch, discuss and take action on dedication and conveyance of roads.
Okay, they have completed construction of the roads and drainage improvements in that subdivision. They've been inspected and approved, and they're ready to be accepted.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Wiley. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this one passes.
Yeah, mine.
Okay, moving right along to agenda item 18, Edwin Baker, Health and Public Safety, 18A. Discuss and approve interlocal agreements with Wilson County Emergency Services District 12345, both volunteer fire departments, Stockton Volunteer Fire Department, and Three Oaks Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah, Ms. Eva has the contracts as well as the next item, which is mutual aid agreement between the departments with each other. It's same as last year. There has been one sentence added to some of them because it was on some and not on others. And it more or less said, and it's under the date range of the effective date to the ending date. And underneath there, it just says it'll take effect upon the effective date, whether it's signed or not at that time. That's the change. Ms. Turner, I'm sorry. I was talking to her earlier about contracts. The Assistant County Attorney has gone over it and has reviewed it, I guess you would say, and said, okay.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So now we're going to 18B. Approve the mutual aid agreement between the agencies and the interlocal agreements.
The interlocal agreement, the mutual aid agreement between the agencies, in the interlocal agreement, it says that you have to have mutual aid agreements with other agencies that are on that contract. And so that's what that is. It's a mutual aid agreement between the departments, ESDs, with each other. It's one document. There's always little bitty changes to that one. Mainly it's on a signature page from the title of president to chief or chief to president, depending on who they want to sign the document. I had one of those this morning I had to change for them. That's the only changes that have been made on it, other than the dates.
Okay, motion for this one? I'll make a motion. Motion by Commissioner Fowle,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gomez, that we approve the mutual aid agreements. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Going to agenda item number 19, Jan Hartle County Treasurer Financial Reports. And you've got them.
Yes, I passed those out to y'all earlier this morning.
This is for July and August.
Yes.
In what? Oh, okay.
Anybody have any questions for Jan?
Janet,
I'll make a motion.
I just had one, like, we were talking about getting these grants for the, like, new truck. If we want to pay these off, or we may have finance now, would there be a penalty or anything like that? Do you
I
know?
will call and check on it for you, Paul.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gomez,
I'll say,
second by Commissioner Fowle, we accept the financial reports for July and August. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, I have a question before we move on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Back to the trucks, I can't remember what item it was, but we're looking at the potential, I think you said 3, and you said 1. So we're looking at 7 trucks, which is almost a $500,000. It's not $500,000, but it's over $400,000. No, actually, it's more than that. I mean, when you're looking at the cost of the trucks, you're looking at $750,000 is the value of 7 trucks at least. The part that we're gonna have to finance for each one is going to be, I don't know, $30,000 per. So we've got 7 trucks at $30,000. How are we going to handle, let's just pick one, a truck. You've got a truck, you're getting $72,000. You've got a $110,000 truck. We're not gonna get our money immediately. I mean, we know we're gonna get the money, but we're gonna have to order the trucks. How are we gonna handle that within the system? Because each of us may be able to. I've got 2, Paul has 3. Can we pay for those vehicles out of the general fund except for our match? And then whenever the money comes in, have that go to the general fund?
Another path too, Mr. Wiley, is, are we going to be allowed to receive the trade-in value of the trucks that we're exchanging? That could cover a significant part of our share.
No, because what they're going to do is they're going to give us $72,000 as the value of that truck, and then they're going to put that truck out of commission.
Right, and some of the trucks that have been identified only have a value of like $20,000. So you're basically getting a $50,000 gift card, so to speak, to buy a new truck.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not necessarily the value that they're at now. This is something that the US government, Volkswagen and everything has set the value for in order to expend those monies in a certain time frame.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
again, we have a line item in our approved budget for county matching grant funds. And if it gets to a point where it depends on if they're all gonna be purchased at the same time, or we're gonna do it incrementally. Once we reach the maximum of that county grant match funds, then I'll come back to the court to request pre-approval for purchase and then reimburse, once we get the grant funding.
I would think they'd probably be all about the same time, wouldn't they? Based upon how the grant, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we have to do it in a couple years, yeah, they're gonna be pretty close together, if not all the same.
Yeah.
It's, I looked at the report here, I've got a truck that I bought, I guess I've made 34 payments, and I still owe just about what it is they're allowing us as the trade. So this is something that we need to take advantage of.
I agree.
Obviously, but I'm just trying to figure out how it would work and not penalize the precincts or the county. And I don't know from a financing standpoint if we could make, because we're gonna wanna finance what's different, I would think, the difference between the two. But it's definitely something we need to take advantage of. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Because I got 2 that probably qualify for total.
Let's see if you got it.
Okay,
That's all. I just wanted to raise that issue.
we got a motion by Commissioner Gomez. We get a second? Commissioner Fowle. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay, now we're moving to agenda item number 20. Okay, Jalen T. Potter, Human Resource General Specialist, payroll and personnel changes. Is there a signature? Where's the signature?
I give them to
I guess there was nothing to approve.
On the, I'm talking about on the,
Financial?
we always have a,
I gave you the copy.
I just signed it.
You signed everything. The financial, you'll pass.
oh, we already got them? Okay.
Yes, I have them,
Okay.
except for Skip. Yes.
Before the motion?
I think we may have approved it twice.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
It was so good, we did it twice.
Yes.
Amy Medina began working as a dispatcher with the Sheriff's Department, making $15.38 per hour, $32,000 annually, effective September 21st. Cody Jordan received a promotion to corporal corrections officer at the sheriff's department and will receive blank pay in the amount of $25 per month. Laura Trinidad promoted to corporal corrections officer at the sheriff's department and will be receiving rent pay in the amount of $25 per month. Christopher Pena was terminated from his position as a dispatcher at the sheriff's department effective September 16th. And Maricela Rodriguez was terminated from her position as a corrections officer at the sheriff's department effective September 20th. Dorothy Holcomb will retire from her position as the clerk at the sheriff's department effective September 27th.
Thank you. All information, there's no line item changes or anything?
Yes, sir.
And Dottie is retiring again.
Yes, I wasn't able to effectively give y'all her years of service until I go back into her file and see.
So the sheriff better find a cook then?
He's
You
good.
gotta find a cook?
I'm the cook.
You the cook?
Then I'm coming
Agenda item 21, Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, financial reports and bills.
Total amount of bills is $360,355.50.
Just the one that's on? You have the signature?
And nothing out of the ordinary. The only thing I wanted for you to note is the invoices in there for CML security for the control panel at the jail, because I needed to have that check cut and issued for prior to the end of this fiscal year. So I'll be holding on to that check. They are in the process and pretty close to, they've had some people out there doing all of the installations and things going on like that, so, but you guys had already approved that before.
Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Hyde, to accept the bills from the county auditor. Is there any discussion, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we're moving right along. You have any financial report?
I'm
Do you have a
sorry.
financial report?
No.
No, okay. Okay, so at 10:28, we are adjourned.